Right now, millions of people around the world are paying money to walk on a belt that goes nowhere. We stare at little digital numbers, sweat dripping onto plastic buttons, feeling a strange sense of accomplishment. But if you showed this exact scene to a human from 300 years ago, they would think we had lost our minds. How did society take something that used to mean survival, strap it to a machine, and trick us into loving it? Because long before the treadmill became a symbol of health, it was built for a completely different purpose. It wasn't built for fitness. It was built as a punishment, designed to break the human mind. So, how did a brutal torture device turn into a multi-billion-dollar home appliance? The answer isn't just about exercise. It's about how modern life trapped our bodies and how our brains were quietly rewired. This is the story of how we were convinced to run to nowhere. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to England in the year 1818. British prisons back then were completely out of control. They were overcrowded, noisy, and full of idle inmates. An engineer named Sir William Cubitt walked into a prison one day and noticed inmates just sitting around, doing nothing. He decided to invent a giant wooden wheel with steps built into it, called the tread wheel. Prisoners had to step onto the wheel continuously. Dramatically, if they stopped stepping, they would fall. Their movement was harnessed to grind grain or pump water, putting their raw muscle power to work. Inmates were forced to climb for up to 10 hours a day, taking thousands of steps with almost no breaks. On average, a prisoner climbed the equivalent of half a mountain every single day. All of this brutal physical effort was fueled by a starvation diet of weak soup and stale bread. Famous writers like Oscar Wilde were forced onto this machine, leaving them physically broken for life. Dark. Sometimes the wheel wasn't even connected to anything. It was just useless, soul-crushing movement. The mental toll was worse than the physical pain. It proved that walking without getting anywhere breaks the human spirit. By 1898, the British government officially banned the device, calling it too cruel for human beings. The treadmill was dead. It seemed like society had agreed to bury this terrible invention forever. But 50 years later, a massive shift in how humans lived brought it back from the grave. Reflective, after World War II, the way humans worked changed faster than ever in history. Instead of farming, building, or moving all day, millions of people took desk jobs, sitting down for 8 hours straight. Cities were redesigned around cars, sidewalks disappeared, and open land was paved over with concrete. At the same time, cheap processed food hit the shelves, full of calories that our bodies didn't need to burn off just to survive. Suddenly, doctors noticed something terrifying happening across the Western world. Men in their 30s and 40s were having sudden heart attacks at rates never seen before. In 1952, a doctor named Robert Bruce brought a motorized belt into his clinic to test heart performance under stress. It was strictly a medical tool used to check if a patient's heart was on the verge of failing. Reflective, modern humans had built a world where natural movement was completely gone. We had engineered our environment so well that we didn't need to walk anymore, and it was killing us. Enter an engineer named William Staub. He read about heart disease and saw an opportunity. He built the world's first affordable home treadmill out of steel and rubber in his garage, calling it the Pacemaster. Ironically, suddenly the machine that was banned in prisons was being sold directly into living rooms as a symbol of health. By the 1980s, the fitness boom hit full force, and the treadmill became the centerpiece of modern gyms. Notice the irony. People drove in cars to an air-conditioned building just to walk on a belt in place.
The very device used to punish 19th century criminals was now something people willingly paid monthly fees to use. But physically moving on a belt was half the transformation. The real trick was how marketers convinced our brains that running to nowhere felt good. For millions of years, human movement was tied directly to a purpose. We ran to hunt, to gather, or to escape danger. When we reached a destination, our brain rewarded us with dopamine, telling us we survived another day. But when you run on a treadmill, your eyes tell your brain that you aren't moving at all. Your inner ear senses motion, but your visual world remains completely still. It creates a strange conflict inside your mind. To solve this conflict, treadmill makers added digital screens filled with glowing, ticking numbers. They turned exercise into a video game. Instead of reaching a real mountain peak, you reach a digital goal of 3 miles. Your brain accepts these numbers as proof of survival, releasing the same chemical reward as if you actually went somewhere. Modern treadmills now feature virtual screens showing scenic nature trails, simulating the outside world we left behind. Reflective, we built artificial nature inside tiny rooms, turning ourselves into hamsters inside a self-made wheel. We sit all day to earn money, then spend that money to run in place in our free time. It is the ultimate loop of modern life, solving the problems caused by technology with more technology. Dramatic, the prisoners of 1818 hated the treadwheel because they were forced onto it against their will. Today, no one forces us. We line up voluntarily, put on headphones, and step onto the belt ourselves. We swapped physical prison guards for internal guilt about staying fit in a world designed to sit. Twathful, nature gives us unpredictable trails, fresh air, and changing views. The belt gives us absolute, predictable control. You can control the incline, the speed, and the environment down to the exact degree. We sacrificed real outdoor exploration for safety, convenience, and measurable progress. Sad, but every time you step off that belt, you end up in the exact same spot where you started. Warm. The treadmill isn't inherently evil. It keeps millions of people active and healthy in an inactive world, but it serves as a powerful reminder of how far our everyday lifestyle has drifted from human nature. It took 200 years to transform a cruel prison punishment into a modern home essential. Reflective, we took a machine designed to break human spirits and turned it into something we consider self-care. The next time you step onto a treadmill, look down at the moving rubber belt beneath your feet. Serious, remember that you are walking on the ghost of an 1818 prison wheel engineered to break men. And ask yourself, are you running towards better health, or are you just trapped in the modern wheel? Engaging. History is full of everyday objects hiding wild, disturbing stories right in plain sight. Once you learn where these things come from, you'll never look at your daily life the same way. Friendly. If you found this video interesting, please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos. Drop a comment down below and let me know. Do you prefer running outdoors, or are you loyal to the treadmill? Thanks for watching, and stay curious until the next video.